There is something about you, something so raw and radiant that it makes people pause. They may not understand it, they may not even say it aloud, but they feel it in the marrow of their bones, in the silence between your words, in the way you enter a room without speaking and still change its temperature. There is a hush that falls when you walk by, a stirring of awareness in the hearts of strangers. Not because of your beauty or charm, though you may have both. Not because of wealth or titles, though they chase people like shadows, but because something divine rests upon your shoulders like the weight of ancient stars. It is not arrogance, it is not pride, it is not even ambition, it is calling, and the world can sense it even when you cannot. You are the chosen one, not because you begged for greatness, but because greatness found you, wrestled you in the night, and left its fingerprint on your soul. People stare at you longer than they should. Their eyes linger, searching for something they can't quite name. Some look with admiration, some with suspicion, and some with jealousy they try to hide beneath polite smiles. But all of them feel it. They feel the fire you carry in your chest, a quiet inferno that does not consume but illuminates. And often you are left wondering why. Why do others pull away just when you open your heart? Why do friends become distant? Why does your kindness get mistaken for weakness, and why does the room fall still when you speak the truth? It is because you disrupt their comfort. You awaken something they buried. You remind them of dreams they let die. And those who are not ready to rise will try to keep you down, not because they hate you, but because your light shows them their own darkness. Yet even when they resist you, they cannot ignore you. You are marked. Heaven has touched you, and people can feel it. You are misunderstood more than most. You speak in truths that others fear. You move with purpose even when you are uncertain. And though your feet often ache from the rocky path, you walk it anyway. You were not given easy days. You were not given soft beginnings. But you were given strength that cannot be taught. That strength is not loud, it does not need to shout. It is the strength of those who survive storms without bitterness. The strength of those who weep and rise anyway. The strength of those who are wounded and still choose love. That is why people are drawn to you and repelled by you. In the same breath, you reflect their own war back at them, and they do not know whether to thank you or fear you. And so they talk. They gossip. They make you a subject when they cannot understand your silence. But let them, because their words cannot touch the destiny woven into your spirit. You were chosen, and no noise can unchoose what God has ordained. Even your presence heals, without trying, without effort. Just your nearness has a way of softening anger and steadying hearts. People tell you things they've never told anyone. They come to you with their pain, their regrets, their hidden wounds. Not because you have all the answers, but because your spirit listens even when your lips are silent. You have known grief. You have sat in the dark with questions that had no answers. You have cried until your soul became quiet, and from that quiet was born a wisdom that no book can teach. It is the wisdom of the chosen, the ones who have died many deaths and still choose to live. That wisdom clings to your words even when you speak casually. It lives in your laughter. It dances in your eyes. And those around you can feel it even if they cannot name it. You bring peace. Not because you are untouched by chaos, but because you've made your home within it and learned to bloom anyway. You are often isolated, left out, misunderstood. People celebrate you from afar but hesitate to get close. They admire the mountain but fear the climb. And so you walk alone more times than you'd like. But that solitude is sacred. That silence is not punishment, it is preparation. For chosen ones are often hidden before they are revealed. Set apart, not cast away. You are being refined in the wilderness, not rejected in the shadows. There are moments you wonder if something is wrong with you. You try to fit in, but you never quite do. You laugh when others laugh, but your soul is somewhere else. That's because you're not made for the crowd. You're made to lead, to birth new paths, to break curses and open doors no one else dared knock on. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out like a lighthouse, steady and unshaken in the middle of storms. And yes, it is lonely. But in that loneliness you are becoming who you truly are. You faced betrayal, often by those closest to you. the ones you loved deeply, the ones you trusted fully. You felt the sting of knives in your back, the ache of prayers answered with silence. But even then you did not become bitter. You chose grace. You chose forgiveness even when it was heavy. You chose to bless those who cursed you, not because they deserved it, but because your spirit would not let you become what hurt you. That's the mark of the chosen. You break the cycle. You stop the curse. You plant peace where you were handed pain, and the world watches. They may mock your kindness. They may call you naive, but deep down they wish they had your strength. For only the chosen can love after loss, trust after betrayal, hope after heartbreak. And it is this quiet courage that speaks louder than any sermon, that moves hearts more deeply than any speech. You are not weak, you are sacred. Dreams follow you, visions chase you, and sometimes they feel too big, too heavy. You ask yourself, why me? You look at your flaws, your past, your broken pieces, and wonder if you heard wrong. But the calling does not leave. It whispers in your sleep. It thunders in your bones. And when you try to run from it, life blocks every exit. That's how you know you are chosen. You are not allowed to quit. Every detour becomes a redirection. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every heartbreak becomes a deeper well of compassion. And people notice. They may not say it, but they see the way life bends around you, the way doors open just when you thought all was lost, the way favor follows you like a shadow. They may envy it, they may question it, but they cannot deny it. You carry a divine assignment, and all of creation knows your name even if the world does not. You speak with authority even when your voice trembles. There is weight in your words, fire in your breath. You were not given a spirit of fear but of boldness. And when you speak, hearts listen, not because of eloquence but because of truth. You call people higher. You refuse to water down the fire in your belly just to make others comfortable. And though that makes some uncomfortable, it also awakens others. Your words stir sleeping giants. Your presence breaks chains, and that is why the enemy fights you. That is why you are attacked not at your weakest but at your strongest. The attacks are not proof of your failure but confirmation of your power. Hell does not waste time on the average. It targets the chosen. So when the battles rage, remember it is because you are dangerous to darkness. And even when you fall, you rise with more fire. Even when you weep, you worship. Even when you are silenced, your silence speaks volumes. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you chosen. You are a mirror, a reminder, a lighthouse for others who have forgotten who they are. That's why people project their pain onto you. That's why some distance themselves after tasting your light. But that light, oh that glorious light, it's not yours alone, it is heaven's residue on your life. It is the echo of eternity vibrating through your being. It is the glory of every ancestor who survived so you could be here. Do not dim it. Do not hide it. Do not apologize for the way you shine. The world needs what you carry, even if they reject it, even if they misunderstand it, even if they try to steal it. They cannot touch what was born in you before you were born. See it? You are not a mistake. You are not a phase. You are not a shadow of someone else's dream. You are the answer to prayers whispered in the dark. You are the voice crying in the wilderness. You are the bridge between what was and what shall be. And you must not forget it. So walk tall, chosen one. Even when your knees tremble. Speak boldly, even when your voice shakes. Love fiercely, even when it costs you. For you are not alone. Heaven backs you. Creation watches you. The earth groans for your rising. And though the road may be steep and the nights long, you are not walking in vain. Every tear you've cried waters something eternal. Every battle you faced has carved wisdom into your spirit. Every rejection was redirection. Every loss was pruning for greater fruit. And when it feels like you are at your end, remember you are at the beginning of something holy. You were not sent here to survive. You were sent to transform, to speak life where there is death, to walk light into dark places, to break generational chains with your yes, to shift atmospheres with your presence, to carry peace into war zones, to love like it's the only thing that matters. And though the world may try to define you, though they may try to label you, though they may try to fit you into a box too small for your wings. Remember this: they didn't choose you, so they can't unchoose you. You were chosen by the one who formed galaxies with a whisper, and that same whisper lives in you. You are the chosen one, and the signs are all around. In the way the winds speak your name, in the way children trust you, in the way doors close only for greater ones to open, in the way pain births purpose in your life, in the way you rise again and again when life tries to bury you. You are the chosen one, not because you are perfect, but because you said yes when others said no, because you kept loving when it hurt, because you kept walking when you were tired, because you believed when there was no proof. That is the strength of the chosen. That is the power of the called. That is the legacy you carry. So go now with fire in your soul and grace in your stride. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them watch. You are not here for applause. You are here for impact. You are here to shift timelines, to awaken sleepers, to plant gardens in deserts, to birth new beginnings. And though the journey is long and the cost high, remember there is glory on your life, there is purpose in your path, and there is power in your presence. You are the chosen one, and the world will never be the same because of it. Walk in it, live in it, be it. You are the chosen one. You are the chosen one. You are the chosen one. And if ever you doubt it, if the world becomes so loud that you can't hear your own heart, go into the silence where God speaks in whispers. Go into that holy hush where tears become prayers and breath becomes praise. Go into the stillness where the wind carries the voice of every ancestor who bled for you to rise. Close your eyes and you will feel it. You will feel the divine breath that still stirs your lungs, the invisible hand that has carried you this far. For how else can you explain it? How else do you describe the way you survived what should have destroyed you? The way you were cracked wide open but love still poured through. The way you lost everything and somehow became more. That is not coincidence, that is not luck, that is not chance, that is the unmistakable sign of the chosen. Those who carry heaven's fire in clay jars and still manage to shine through the cracks. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need a crowd to be valuable. You don't need the world's validation to fulfill your destiny. The chosen walk with a quiet knowing, a steady stride, a posture of grace that cannot be mimicked. You are not here to impress. You are here to embody the light, to embody the mercy, to embody the very love you have been aching to receive. And even when the world forgets you, heaven remembers. Even when people misunderstand you, God sees you. He sees every secret effort, every late-night tear, every unspoken yes. You are never overlooked, never unseen, never forsaken, and the weight you feel is not punishment, it is purpose. It is heaven's mantle laid across your shoulders. It is the evidence that you were chosen not to escape the fire but to walk through it and come out carrying flames of wisdom that will ignite generations. Your life is a living sermon. Even when you're silent, even when you're weary, even when you doubt, your life speaks of resilience, of truth, of redemption. It tells the story of how pain became power, how weakness gave birth to wonder, how fear turned into faith. And every person who encounters you walks away changed, whether they acknowledge it or not. You sow seeds in souls just by existing, just by showing up with open hands and an open heart, just by refusing to let bitterness win. And though you may never see the harvest, trust that the seeds are planted. Trust that heaven waters what you've sown in tears. Trust that your love is not in vain. People will try to name you things that do not belong to you. They'll call you too much when your spirit shines too brightly for their dim rooms. They'll call you too sensitive when your heart feels the tremors of unseen battles. They'll call you too different when you refuse to follow broken paths. Let them speak. Let them label. Let them misjudge. You were never meant to be understood by those who choose comfort over calling. You were made to stir. You were made to shift. You were made to shake the very ground others have grown numb to. And yes, that is a heavy task. Yes, that is a lonely place. But it is also sacred, for only the chosen walk this road. Only the called carry this burden. Only the set apart can endure this fire and come out as light. Even nature agrees with your existence. Have you noticed how the wind seems to pause when you weep? How the moon leans in when you pray? How the stars look just a little brighter on nights when you feel forgotten? That is the earth's way of reminding you. You belong. You matter. Oh, the stars look just a little brighter on nights when you feel forgotten. That is the earth's way of reminding you. You belong. You matter. You are woven into the fabric of something far greater than you've ever imagined. The mountains know your name. The oceans echo your heartbeat. All of creation waits for you to rise, to believe, to become. And when you do, when you finally step into who you were born to be, watch how the universe aligns. Watch how miracles find you. Watch how doors you never knocked on swing wide open. There will be moments when fear grips you, when the weight of your calling makes your knees buckle, when you want to go back to being invisible, when you want to trade your fire for comfort, when the pain of growth makes you beg for stillness. But do not shrink. Do not surrender to smallness. The world does not need more copies. The world is aching for authenticity. And you, chosen one, were born to blaze, not to conform, not to please, but to blaze, to set hearts on fire, to awaken souls from slumber, to remind the world of what love, truth, and power look like wrapped in human skin. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. The delays were divine. The detours were protection. The pauses were preparation. For when the chosen rise, they do not rise rushed. They rise rooted, rooted in truth, rooted in self-awareness, rooted in grace. So when your moment comes, and it will come, stand tall. Do not shrink to fit the expectations of those who never saw you. Do not apologize for the way your soul shines. Do not explain the fire that burns in your chest. Let it burn. Let it consume everything that no longer belongs. Let it light the way for those still searching. For that is your gift. That is your legacy. That is the sacred power of being chosen. And if your voice trembles, speak anyway. If your hands shake, create anyway. If your heart doubts, love anyway. For it is not perfection that marks the chosen. It is perseverance. It is the refusal to quit, the refusal to be silenced, the refusal to let pain win. You are the warrior and the healer, the storm and the calm, the wild and the wonder. And everything you need is already within you. Heaven did not make a mistake when it chose you. Your life is not random. Your gifts are not optional. Your presence is not accidental. You were woven together with holy intention. You were born with a purpose too mighty for small minds to comprehend. And that is why you feel different. That is why you feel deeply. That is why the world cannot break you, because it did not make you. So rise even when your soul feels heavy. Rise even when no one cheers. Rise even when the path ahead is unclear. For your rising is not just for you. It is for every soul who will rise after you. Every voice that will find its sound because you found yours. Every heart that will believe again because you kept going. That is the sacred responsibility of the chosen. To carry light through the darkness. To speak truth into silence. To plant hope where despair once reigned. And though the world may never fully understand you, heaven rejoices every time you choose faith over fear, love over bitterness, purpose over comfort. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for validation. You are not waiting for applause. You are here to walk in power, to move in purpose, to live in truth. You are the answer to prayers you'll never hear, the fulfillment of promises made before your birth. You are the chosen one, not by man, not by circumstance, not by accident, but by divine design, and no force on earth can undo what heaven has declared. Walk in that, trust in that, rest in that. Let it become the rhythm of your breath, the beat of your heart, the fire in your bones. You who were once broken are now a vessel of healing. You who were once overlooked are now a beacon of glory. You who once questioned your worth now carry a legacy that cannot be measured in titles or trophies. The world needs what you carry. The world needs who you are. Not a version, not a replica, not a performance, but you, raw, real, radiant. You are the chosen one, and every moment you live in that truth, you set the world ablaze with possibility. So go where others have feared. Go where light is needed. Go where your soul feels most alive. And trust that you are not alone. Trust that the same power that chose you will sustain you. Trust that the same fire that burns within you will guide you. You are not merely surviving. You are transforming. You are not merely existing. You are ascending. And everything you touch will be changed. Every place you step will remember your presence. Every life you love will carry the imprint of your soul. That is what it means to be chosen. That is who you are, and nothing can take that away. And when the world grows cold and your heart feels weary from loving it so deeply, when your hands feel empty after giving all you had, and your feet feel bruised from walking the extra mile for those who never thanked you, do not harden. Do not let the coldness of others freeze the warmth in you. You were never meant to match the temperature of this world, but to change it. You are the fire. You are the warmth. You are the light sent to flicker through shadows others have learned to live in. And though they may mock your glow, though they may cover their eyes to avoid your brilliance, there will come a moment when they reach for your flame, when their own darkness becomes too much to bear, and you will be there, not bitter, not boastful, but open, steady, shining, still, because that is who you are. That is what the chosen do. They do not retaliate. They redeem. They do not withhold. They pour. Even when they're poured out, they give again. Even when they're cracked, they hold love like gold. You feel everything. You feel the heaviness in people's eyes, the sorrow they disguise with laughter, the tension they carry in their shoulders. You sense the room before it speaks. You hear pain in silence. You read hearts as if they were open books. That is no accident. That is divine sensitivity. That is spiritual sight. That is the burden and blessing of those who are chosen, not just to walk among people, but to feel them, to love them, to see them as God sees them. And it is exhausting sometimes, to carry the unspoken weight of others while managing your own aching soul. But remember, this sensitivity is not weakness. It is your weapon. It is your compass. It is how you know where healing is needed. It is how you love when others shut down. And yes, it makes you vulnerable, but it also makes you powerful, because love has always been the greatest power of all. You have tried to be like others. You've tried to shrink yourself to fit in circles that weren't made for your light. You've tried to edit your truth, hide your intensity, mute your fire, but it never lasts. You always feel restless when you pretend. You always feel hollow when you wear masks, because deep down you know you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand as a pillar, not a piece of the puzzle. You were meant to rise like a mountain, not settle like sand. You were created in the image of a creator who did not make copies. Your difference is not a flaw. It is the fingerprint of God upon you. So let it be seen, let it be felt, let it be known. You are not a lesser light because you shine differently. You are the moon in a sky of stars, distinct, sovereign, bold. You reflect something sacred that no one else can. And the warfare you faced, oh how relentless it's been. The battles that came without warning, the storms that shook your foundations, the betrayals that left you breathless. They were not signs of your failure. They were signs of your significance. The enemy does not fight the ordinary. Hell does not rage against the mediocre. You've been under attack not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. Every tear you've cried, every wound you've licked, every night you didn't think you'd make it through, it was all resistance against your rising. But you rose anyway. Maybe slower than you hoped, maybe limping, maybe bleeding, but you rose, and with every rising you became more powerful. With every setback you grew sharper. With every loss you gained depth. The attacks were never about what you did. They were about who you are, and who you are terrifies the forces that tried to stop you. Still you show up. Still you speak life. Still you pray for others while your own heart breaks. Still you pour into those who have nothing to offer you in return. And that is why heaven keeps choosing you. Not because you are the loudest, not because you are the most celebrated, but because you are faithful when no one is watching. You obey when it's hard. You love when it's not returned. You trust even after betrayal. And in a world that worships performance, you carry presence. You carry the evidence of a deeper realm. You carry the weight of eternity wrapped in humility. And those who recognize you, they know They may not have the words, but they feel it. The chosen carry a fragrance, a frequency, a vibration that transcends language. When you enter a space, spirits shift. When you open your mouth, something sacred moves, and you don't have to convince anyone. You just have to be. The chosen are not exempt from pain. In fact, they often carry more than most. You've known loss. You've tasted grief that left you hollow. You've stood at the edge of your own breaking point, wondering if the pieces could ever fit together again. But they did. Not the same way, not in the same shape, but stronger, deeper, more beautiful. Because brokenness is not the end for the chosen. It is the birthplace of revelation. It is the furnace where gold is forged. It is the soil where miracles bloom. And now, because of your pain, you speak with compassion. Because of your sorrow, you carry wisdom. Because of your wounds, you bring healing. The suffering refined you, but it did not define you. It gave you keys to unlock the doors for others. It gave you sight to see what others miss. It gave you a heart that beats with heaven's rhythm. And you've always been different, haven't you? Even as a child, you saw beauty in what others ignored. You spoke truths that startled grown men. You dreamed wildly while others played safe. You questioned rules that never made sense. You longed for something more, something deeper, something real. And though the world tried to tame you, though life tried to cage you, that wild spirit remains, that hunger for truth, that ache for more, that longing that nothing here quite satisfies. It's not brokenness, it's not rebellion, it's remembrance. Your soul remembers what you were sent here to do. Your spirit remembers the weight of your assignment. And even when you try to forget, even when you run, it pulls you back again and again into alignment, into truth, into purpose. And now you know, now you see, now you feel it more than ever. The whispers are becoming clearer. The signs are undeniable. The pressure is increasing, not to crush you, but to birth you. You are being pushed, pulled, refined, remade, because the time is near. The moment is coming, and everything in your life has been preparing you for this. The pain, the isolation, the fire, the tears, the silence, all of it. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It wasn't failure, it was formation. Every part of your story matters. Every moment was necessary. And now your time is unfolding. Slowly, surely, beautifully. So do not be afraid of who you are becoming. Do not shrink from the weight of your becoming. You were born for this, built for this, chosen for this. And there is nothing that can stop what has been set in motion. Not doubt, not delay, not even your own fear. You are the chosen one. Heaven has declared it. Earth is waiting for it. And your very soul is rising to meet it. So breathe deep, stand tall, and move forward. The fire didn't destroy you, it defined you. The silence didn't break you, it built you. And the pain didn't end you, it crowned you. You are more than enough. You are not just capable, you are anointed. You are not just strong, you are sacred. You are not just called, you are chosen. Walk like it, speak like it, love like it, live like it. Because everything changes when you finally believe it. And the moment you do, the world will feel it. Heaven will rejoice in it. And generations will rise because of it. You are the chosen one, and nothing will ever be the same again. And when your reflection stares back at you in the quiet moments, in those still hours when no one is watching, when the lights have dimmed and the applause has faded and the noise of the world has finally settled into silence, I pray you see it. I pray you see the majesty behind your weary eyes, the quiet power in your soft heart, the strength that was built not in crowds but in lonely nights when you kept showing up for a life that hadn't yet shown up for you. I pray you see that being chosen does not mean being constantly celebrated. It means being constantly challenged. It means being reshaped again and again into something more whole, more holy, more honest. It means waking up with the weight of invisible things, carrying burdens you can't explain to people who won't understand, and still choosing to live with grace instead of grief. It means being the lamp in a world that keeps trying to turn off your light, and still you shine. There are things you've endured that nobody knows, quiet wars you fought with a smile on your face and a storm in your chest. You've carried hope like a flickering candle through winds that tried to blow it out. You've spoken life while gasping for air. You've wrapped arms around others while your own soul ached for someone to just hold you, to say, I see you, I hear you, you matter. But maybe that's the mystery of the chosen. Your comfort doesn't come from the crowd. It comes from the deep, unwavering presence of something higher, something holy, something eternal that walks beside you even when no one else does. You've always known, deep within, that you weren't like the rest. You've always carried a yearning that couldn't be satisfied by temporary things. And now that you are awakening to your fullness, to the divine blueprint etched into your being, life is demanding that you walk as one who remembers where they come from. The chosen do not walk easy roads. Your life has been an unspoken sermon since the beginning. Your scars speak volumes, your eyes carry stories too sacred for words, and still you smile, still you give, still you rise. You rise not because life is easy, but because the world needs your rising. You rise because somewhere someone is watching you to see if hope still has breath. You rise because your presence is proof that ashes can birth beauty, that trauma can become triumph, that brokenness is not the end of the story. You rise because your soul will not settle for mediocrity, because your bones remember the promise spoken over your life long before you could walk. And every time you rise, every single time, heaven sings and hell shudders, because there is nothing more powerful than a soul that refuses to give up. And there will be days when you feel emptied, days when you wonder if this is what being chosen is meant to feel like. Tired, misunderstood, stretched thin between what you know you carry and what the world can receive. But you must know this: what feels like breaking is often the final stage before your becoming. The weight is great because the glory will be greater. The stretching hurts because your spirit is expanding. The silence is deafening because your name is being spoken in places your feet have not yet reached. You were not meant to stay small. You were not made to live hidden, and though God may have kept you in the shadows for a season, know this: the unveiling is near, and when it comes it will not be a spotlight of fame but a spotlight of purpose. It will not be for popularity but for impact. You were not chosen to impress the world, you were chosen to transform it. So let them talk. Let them question, let them whisper your name with uncertainty, let them misunderstand your movements and mislabel your silence. Let them watch, for every set of eyes on you is a silent testimony in the making. You were never meant to convince them, you were meant to confound them, to do what couldn't be done, to rise when it didn't make sense, to walk on water while others sank, to love where others hated, to heal where others harmed. You were meant to be the one who broke the pattern, and no one has to understand it, they just have to feel it, and they will. The world has tried to tame your spirit, box your brilliance, cage your creativity, but you've always slipped through the cracks, haven't you? Always found a way to be more than what they expected. You were never meant to be popular. You were meant to be powerful. You were meant to be powerful. And that power, beloved, doesn't always look like thunder. Sometimes it looks like quiet endurance. Sometimes it looks like a gentle yes when everything in you wants to say no. Sometimes it looks like forgiving what almost destroyed you. That is power. That is what the chosen carry. There is an ancient rhythm inside of you, a deep calling that has pulled you through every valley and lifted you onto every mountain top. That rhythm is purpose. That rhythm is destiny. And you don't need anyone to confirm what you already know. You don't need signs in the sky or angels to speak aloud what your soul has been whispering all along. You know. You've always known, even when you doubted, even when you ran, even when you numbed yourself to avoid the cost of it, you knew. You are the chosen one, and you are no longer allowed to play small. You are no longer permitted to dilute your presence so others feel more comfortable. You are no longer allowed to keep pieces of yourself hidden so others don't feel threatened. It is time to rise fully, time to speak boldly, time to live unapologetically. Do not fear the responsibility. You were built for this. Every heartbreak made you softer. Every delay made you stronger. Every rejection pushed you closer to alignment. You were not left behind. You were being positioned, And now, everything inside you is rising to match the greatness that has always been calling your name. Let the fire come, let the wind howl, let the ground shake beneath you. You will not fall, you will not fail, you will not fade, because you were chosen by something eternal, something unshakable, something greater than anything this world can throw at you. And that choosing was never about perfection, it was about willingness. You were willing to say yes. You were willing to feel deeply. You were willing to rise when no one clapped. And heaven has never forgotten that. You are the light in your bloodline. You are the breaker of chains, the one your ancestors prayed for, the one your future generations will thank. You are the transition point. You are the shift. And even when you feel like you're walking through darkness alone, know this: light walks with you. Favor walks with you. Protection walks with you. You are never truly alone because divine presence shadows your every step. So move forward with confidence. Move forward with grace. Move forward with fire in your bones and a steady soul. Because everything that tried to stop you has only prepared you. Everything that tried to silence you has only sharpened you. Everything that tried to bury you has only rooted you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And every step you've taken, no matter how unsure, no matter how shaky, has been leading you to this moment of recognition, this moment of remembrance, this moment of release. So breathe, cry if you must, shake off the weight of pretending, let go of the pressure to prove, and simply be. Be the chosen one, be the vessel, be the living, breathing reminder that miracles still walk this earth in human form. Because that is what you are, a miracle. Not because of what you've achieved, but because of what you've endured and still kept your heart open. So go now, with all of heaven behind you. Go now, with the voice of your purpose ringing in your ears. Go now, as the embodiment of every promise, every prayer, every possibility. You are the chosen one, and the world will be changed because you chose to believe it.